Fresh Fridays with myself, Duke Sky, alongside host KXVU.
Good morning, my friends. It's Friday. And that's all I have to say on the matter. Good morning. It's Brekky In The Cave. Myself, KXVU, in the hot seat. Brand new from Young Bane.
See that face in the morning, I'm up, would you let me? We've been friendly, now I'm ready. She said slowly, can I do a little more than last time, baby? She said love me like you own me. She said own it. You ain't felt like this before. It feels like it's your first time dancing here with someone else, and it just doesn't feel right. You do shakararas, well it hurts my heart, don't feel nice. Now you get it out through mine. Who's better for you, babe? Which guy? Table for two. Got tonight, it's just me and you. We can both turn our phones off too. You turn me on, I turn you on. Ooh. Table for two. Got tonight, it's just me and you. We can both turn our phones off too. You turn me on, I turn you on. Ooh. Baby, which guy? Baby, which high? Even if he had $1 billion, could I make her come like I? You know you're my type, you know you're my size. I get you baptized, you do me likewise. You ain't felt like this before, it feels like it's your first time dancing here with someone else, and it just doesn't feel right. You do shakararas, well it hurts my heart, don't feel nice. Now you get it out through mine. Who's better for you, babe? Which guy? Table for two. Got tonight, it's just me and you. We can both turn our phones off too. You turn me on, I turn you on. Ooh. Table for two. Got tonight, it's just me and you. We can both turn our phones off too. You turn me on, I turn you on. Ooh.
Good morning, my friends. It's Brekky In The Cave. Myself, KXVU, in the hot seat. Sounding a little bit husky this morning. I'm not too sure why, but out to my early morning locked in crew. I say early morning. Is 10 early anymore? I don't think 10's early anymore. I think 8's early now in this current weird post-apocalyptic scenario we find ourselves in. But there we go. Out to everyone who's been locking in this week. I tell you what, the channel's seen some big boosts this week. Every video is doing a lot stronger than the week before, which is what we like to see. And it's been good. It's been a very enjoyable week. I'm definitely feeling like we're starting to carve a way through the YouTube lane, shall we say. But there we go. We're live on Brekky In The Cave from 10 till 12. It is Fresh Fridays. We're going to be joined by Duke Sky in around 10 minutes or so. He's going to jump on the line with us for the majority of the next 2 hours. And today's special guest is King's HiFi. We're going to be talking to two of the members about their brand new EP project, which is dropping this either today or tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. I think they're doing it quite manually, so they're not entirely sure what time it will drop. However, it is dropping over the course of the next 48 hours, as far as I am aware. Featuring Natty Campbell. Really, really cool release indeed. So we're going to be getting into that one a little bit later on. We've got loads of new music to run, though. Fresh Fridays is looking absolutely spicy today, I've got to say. I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly what comes up, because we have got new music on the way from the likes of Jody Wisternoff. We've got new Jules and Jarcure, new Unknown T, new Bush Baby, new Matt Jam Lamont alongside Echelon and Shush, new Baklava, new Chris Lorenzo and Bruce C. There's some new Teddy Makers in there as well, some new AJ Tracy and Mostak, also some new Gets as well. So there we go. There's loads of absolute bangers on the way, and I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. So this next track we're going to play, and what we're going to kick off the show with properly, and actually start your day with, comes from Luton Fire and Jalifa. Now, we've been running this one on the show for a few days, have really, really enjoyed it so far. It's been a very much of a pleasurable tune to wake up to. Really good flavours all around. So let's get into this one now. Don't go anywhere. It's Cubcam TV. Just got 5 minutes past 10, and we are taking you through for the morning run here on Fresh Fridays.
I would say marijuana in the Rasta man bucket. Not the marijuana and get high. See me fly. Ooh yeah. For this plant is war. All over war. Legalization war. For Welcome, I've got a banquet today, and we're serving strictly ital herbs. Natural and organical, we're sipping pots, that's the A. Slowly subbing on that ital herbs. Feel it cross the physical, celebrating every day. Rastaman I chant, I herbs. Hey, what's on the menu? Natty jade, nothing but a bucket of herbs. Ooh yeah. Smoke weed and get high, get chubby. Blaze up the country. Shut up, ash me a rasp, me a pass, big fluff me a ash. And study like the next thing they done roll already. Big fast fluff me a like that spaghetti. 10 stuff and me drink calabash. I grade and a grass up and a pass. That's solid tight. I'll sing them me love born ready like ready for the ready for your pass. To your belly in some of them a rust and a axe when feds them a axe for grass. Them a point out jelly. Me no dash my split, if me no nobody. Study up, sorry me no worry, me no high grades. But the marijuana me a pass. When it's ash, I grade me a pass. Salute and fire, got a banquet today. Rastaman a chant, I herbs.
Sounds of Luton Fire and Jalifa on this one. Track entitled Ganja Banquet. Wicked rhythm.
Welcome, I've got a banquet today, and we're serving strictly ital herbs. Natural and organical, we're sipping pots, that's the A. Slowly subbing on that ital herbs. Feel it cross the physical. Pass the chalice in a circle. Think about it till it goes to get purple. We don't compromise, I will advertise. I'm sure when I'm but I'm certain. It a medicine and it can't hurt you. Get still Babylon won't hurt you. They stash it before them search it. Jalifa, them not really concerned. Them all lock up the rest. We a little bit of weed and it pass. I want it in a church too. See the judge and the lawyer, police and the doctor, the nurse. Every up in our verse too. Big dance are keeping at the circle. Jalifa life in concert too. We can't done, we sure we can serve you. Hey, rub on that. Well, I've got a banquet today, and we're serving strictly ital herbs. Natural and organical, we're sipping pots, that's the A. Slowly subbing on that ital herbs. Feel it cross the physical, celebrating every day. Rastaman I chant, I herbs. Hey, what's on the menu? Natty jade, nothing but a bucket of herbs. Ooh yeah, for this plant is war. All over war. Legalization war. For that good boom jar. Welcome, I've got a banquet today, and we're serving strictly ital herbs. Natural and organical, we're sipping pots, that's the A. Slowly subbing on that ital herbs. Feeling cross the physical, celebrating every day. Rastaman I chant, I herbs. Hey, what's on the menu? Natty jade, nothing but...
Sounds of Luton Fire on this one, featuring Jalifa, track entitled Ganja Banquet. Really, really cool flavours on that one. Good way to start the day as well. We're seeing loads of interesting stuff pop up today, and of course it is today's all about Bandcamp. That's pretty much what I'm seeing near enough everywhere. So I'm going to get into a bit of information about this waiving fee day. Let's have a little look at it up on my screen here. So Bandcamp have announced more fee waiving days after scheduling another free waiving day for May the 1st, which is it today, May the 1st? I think it is. Bandcamp has extended the initiative with another 2 fee-free days. These will take place on the first Fridays of the next 3 months, May the 1st, June 5th, and July the 3rd. The move is to help artists who are struggling through the financial struggles imposed by the coronavirus pandemic. The first free day in March saw 4.3 million in sales spent on the platform. That's an absolute madness, actually. 4.3 million in sales in one day on Bandcamp. That is a huge amount of money. That's genuinely amazing. Fans have paid more than 494 million using Bandcamp and 14.6 million in the last 30 days in general. So, like, a big chunk of that was on that specific day. Really, really interesting stuff. So here is the day. I'm going to read through what Bandcamp have actually put up. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact us all, and artists have been hit especially hard as tours and shows are cancelled for the foreseeable future. With such a major revenue stream drying up, it's almost entirely. Finding ways to continue to support artists online in the coming months is urgent, and it's a priority for anyone who cares about music and the artists who create it. On March the 20th, 2020, we waived our revenue share in order to help artists and labels impacted by the pandemic. The Bandcamp community showed up in a massive way, spending 4.3 million on music and merchandise, 15 times the amount on a normal Friday, which is a huge amount anyway. you have to remember Friday is release day for a lot of the time. So a lot of the time when people actually, it's also payday a lot of the time, isn't it? If you're working weekly, so that's the day that people are going to spend their money on music. You've also got the raves in the evening, so that's when people are going to spend their money. But the pandemic, of course, and its impact on the community aren't over. So today, as well as June the 5th and July the 3rd, the first Friday of each month, they are waiving their revenue share on all sales for Bandcamp from midnight to midnight. So there we go. Over 150 artists and labels are offering discounts, exclusive items, merch bundles, and more today. Musicians will continue to feel the effects of lost touring income for many months to come, so they are also sharing ideas on how fans can support the artists they love and how artists can give fans new creative ways to provide support. Very interesting indeed. It may sound simple, but the best way to help artists right now is direct financial support, apparently, and we hope you'll join them through the coming months as we continue to support artists in this challenging time. There we go. There's loads of information over on the Bandcamp website. It's definitely something I would recommend checking out if you get the chance, because it's a good cause. You know, this is exactly what people need. People, if you are working as a full-time musician and suddenly you don't have any shows, how are you getting paid? You're not, and it's not exactly a thing where you can kind of go, oh, I'll just go and do some part-time work, because there is no part-time work, because there are no shows. You know what I mean? Shows don't exist anymore. So if you are someone who does rely on shows to make your money, it's not a great time, I've got to say. But anyway, let's have a little look at what we've got next in the bag. This next one coming from Jody Wisternoff, a track entitled The Spark. Some smooth house flavors this morning here on Cubcam TV. Tell you what, I'm going through my Twitter feed and it is all Bandcamp related stuff. My emails is all Bandcamp related stuff. It's going to be a very good day for new music. Sounds of Jodie Wisternoff on that one alongside Christian Burns. Really cool tune, that one, going by the name of The Spark. How are we doing this morning, my friends? We are live on Cubcam TV. Really enjoyable tune, that one. I've got to say, this week has been it's been a really enjoyable week when it comes to new viewers, new ideas, new sort of things we've got going on. Obviously, we've dropped a couple of reaction videos this week, which have done quite well. I say a couple, we've got one. There's another one recorded that's going out tomorrow. As well as that, we've got we've had loads of new bits drop, you know what I mean? There's been loads of random little videos dropping here and there. We've had some really good show reactions. There's been loads of recording going on. It's just been a really good week for the channel in general, which I've been really enjoying. And I do believe Duke Sky is about to join us on the line. Dukey, good morning. You are live on the show. How are we doing?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you, mate. How about yourself?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm feeling quite spriteful for this time on a Friday. I'm normally a little bit normally a little bit groggy on a Friday morning, but I'm feeling very much in a good mood today.
What's brought that on, do you think?
I don't know, I think it's just been a good week for the channel. We're celebrating today.
Nice. And the prospect of speaking to me.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying, brother.
Likewise.
How are you doing? How's your week been?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I've been a bit under the weather this week. I don't think it's COVID-y. I think it's just more the consequence of staying in and not perhaps keeping my body and mind as active as it could have been. But no, it's all good. We're on the road to recovery, feeling well. How are you? I'm good.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good to hear. I'm glad. I was a little bit worried last week when you said you were feeling a bit under the weather, and now it's good to hear that you're actually very much on the mend. That brings me some more good news this morning. That's what I like to hear. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I've just been really honing in on this YouTubey stuff. We hit 200 subscribers yesterday. We're up to 208 now, so we've grown quite a lot over the last 24 hours.
Nice.
But there we go. We've hit 200. There's new music dropping this evening to celebrate. Loads of new video stuff on the way. Yeah, we started doing reaction videos yesterday, which I really enjoyed. I've worked out a way of doing it, which looks quite good, and it isn't too time-consuming to put together. So, yeah, we did a reaction video to that brand new AJ tune.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't ask how it went, actually. I'm going to check it out for myself.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable thing to do, and I can see why YouTubers really like doing it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like your unadulterated, unfiltered reaction when you're watching something. I think people gravitate towards it. Seem to gravitate towards it when it's like someone whose opinion you wouldn't usually get on that music, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
So like, there's been a lot of the American heads that have obviously been rating and reviewing the English music, but then I've seen loads of like death metal band review rapper or something like that. You know, there's a lot of that.
I mean, the big one I've seen over the last few weeks last few months really, is that classical music expert reviews like new pop rap tracks on Kiss, I think it is.
Yeah, so that's exactly the type of thing I'm talking about. So it's quite interesting to see where they're going with all of that. So it's nice that you're joining forces.
Yeah, no, it's fun to do, man. It is fun to do, and I think as well it just adds something else to the constantly growing roster of what we've got going on here at the channel.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, like what have you got planned for the weekend then? What are you doing to keep yourself entertained?
Keep myself entertained. Just a whole lot of cycling. Got a bike recently, so that's me.
Nice. Which way out have you been heading?
I come out and I'm faced immediately with the ocean, so I have a choice of left or right.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're going straight ahead, I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. If I'm going straight ahead, I can go see the Frenchies. See what I'm saying. No, it's usually a left. I have to admit, it's usually a left down to the marina. Go down. It's a much more enjoyable cycle down there. But no, I've been known to turn right every now and again.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
You know what? I haven't ridden a bike in like 3 years, bro. I've always found... Do you know what I've always found weird? I've always found cycling really tiring, and I don't know why. There's other sports I can play, and cycling is the one thing that just knackers me really quickly.
Well, what about running, though? Do you prefer that to cycling or not?
When I was running, I could run a lot better than I ever could cycle.
See, now I'm the complete opposite. I hate running, hate everything about it. Hurts my legs and my joints.
You see that? I get that from cycling. How weird is that?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's really weird. Swimming, however, I can go for ages and I don't really hurt afterwards. So that's very odd. Swimming is the ultimate. I think if everyone had a swimming pool, the world would be fitter.
and probably happier as well.
Yeah, realistically. But yeah, I mean, like music-wise, obviously we've seen some really interesting bits drop, which we're going to be getting into for Fresh Fridays. And of course, we're going to be jumping on the line with the guys at King's HiFi in around 10 minutes or so, which should be good to do. Really looking forward to that. They've got a new single out with Natty Campbell, so we're going to be talking through the new single and their kind of roots as well in system culture. They're quite an established outfit, our King's HiFi. So yeah, it should be a good one. We're going to get into another tune next. This one coming from Earthnut, and it's a tune that I really, really enjoy. I've got to say, it's definitely one that's right up my street from them. Let's get into this one then. This is their No More Drama remix. We're on the line with Duke Sky. We're going to be talking to King's HiFi in around 10 minutes or so. Oh yes, Fresh Friday. Right then, we're back on the line. It's Cubcam TV. How are we doing this morning, my friends? We're on the line with Duke Sky. That one there coming from Earthnut. Their No More Drama remix. We're going to talk about what's going on in France football-wise, which is very interesting. PSG are officially champions. So what does this mean for the rest of world football?
What does it mean for the rest of world football? Well, it's potentially set a precedent for other leagues, other countries to follow. Having said that, I think everyone's kind of lone soldier in it at the moment in terms of the governing bodies of each league. Like you had the Dutch league, they were like, nah, we're just gonna call it a day. Like no one gets anything. It's as you were. Boom. Germany are like, yeah, we're retraining. We're gonna get back May 7th. They want to aim to get their first games back like May 7th, May 9th, or something like that. And then you've got the French that. I don't know how this has gone down in terms of, like, I haven't done too much investigation in terms of how the relegated teams have taken this and how their boards have taken it, because that's who, if I was them, I'd be chomping at the bit to go and see my lawyer after this isolation.
Yeah, because I mean, it's unfair more than anything else, you know? It's like
there's still 30 or 40 points to play for.
I mean, that's a huge amount of points. That's a third of what the top teams use. That's like, say, I mean, realistically, 30 to 40 points. That is the difference between the relegation and like sixth place in the Prem, isn't it?
Yeah, Oh, that's what they say. 40 points is like the holy grail for the relegation battle teams.
Yeah, I mean that's just a madness to me, bro. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So what do you like? How do you see? Do you see this affecting England at all? Do you see us
I don't know.
Ignoring it and going our own way.
I can see us. I say us. I can see the Premier League ignoring it and doing their own thing entirely, and then which actually I'm not that mad at because obviously I don't want Liverpool to win it, and if they get stripped of it, I will find it very funny. But I think realistically, I think it will get given to Liverpool, and in everyone's eyes, they will have won it regardless of what happens. However, I don't think them officially being handed the title when there's still points to play for is fair, and I would say that about any team.
Well, yeah, I think it's quite unrealistic to even attempt to try and finish it this side of, I'd say, at the earliest August.
Yeah.
And that's well after the date that UEFA have set. So I think it's just, however you want to decide it, you have to call it a day now and just focus on them planning for the future. It's ridiculous but we could potentially be in 2021 finishing off the 1920 season and playing Euro 20, and then everything else, like there's still a sporting schedule. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think more than anything else, just call it, call a time on it. Just go, look, it's finished. We're writing off. We're starting again. That's what I think. Anyway, I think that's the most realistic thing.
Have you seen these quote unquote revolutionary masks that they're going to be trialing to make the players wear whilst playing?
I haven't seen them, but even the thought of that sounds utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, on the specs it had like an annotated picture of like all the specs on the thing, and one of the things that they highlighted, I guess, as a quality, but when used in sport, it's not really a quality. It said reduces oxygen intake by 20%.
That's ridiculous.
No, that can't be good. I'm no sports scientist, but if I'm running around with a full pelt, that can't be good if I'm not having 20% as much oxygen.
Literally, if I'm struggling to breathe, and I'm a little bit health conscious anyway, like, just the entire thing of that is ridiculous in my opinion. I think that getting them to wear masks when they're playing just is stupid. Don't try and rush it back. Just call time on it. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good closing statement there.
Good stuff. Right, let's jump into another tune because we're going to jump onto the phone with King's HiFi in just a second. This one coming from Lucent, his remix of Barley Cater. Really cool UK funky bit, this one that arrived in my inbox yesterday. We're going to get into this one and then jump onto the phone with King's HiFi. So don't go anywhere, it's Cub Camp TV.
Jeez.
then, guys, we are live on Cubcam TV. How are we doing this morning? It's Brekky in the Cave, and we've got some very, very special guests in the building this morning. Kings HiFi, join us. How are we doing this morning, guys? We all good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hi, Jay. Yeah, man, I'm good, man.
Good to hear, good to hear. We've also got Juki still on the phone somewhere. I think we've got 4 people in this chat. How are you doing, Juki?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm lurking.
Lurking in the backers. That's good, bro. That's good. Wow, I'm looking forward to this one. This is one I was really keen to get in. Obviously, as soon as I saw that the new single was floating around, it was one that I was like, right, I'm jumping in there. I'm getting in the inbox. I'm going to try and get a conversation going. Like, what we're going to talk about today, obviously, is this new single, which I believe is dropping on it's dropping on Bandcamp today and other stores over the next few days. In that it's going to be quite cool to see how it's like staggers across different ones. But what we're going to be looking at is kind of like a bit of history into the system itself, kind of like system culture in general and how it's affecting sounds today. Like when we're like going back to the beginning of it, what was your kind of route into doing basically running a hi-fi system? Like what was the kind of routage?
Well, so we started in about 2000. I was promoting nights at the Volks called Sunday Sessions. I met Zebi at college, actually. We liked the same sort of music. And another guy called Finn that was more into production and graffitis. And yeah, we started to do those nights. After that, we had like a little sound system called Good Karma. We're more doing like sort of raves and these sort of things. Then we all went our different ways for like a couple of years and went back in as Kings HiFi. So it was always the same kind of, you know, like set up.
Core crew.
Yeah, core crew. And we...
Sorry, carry on. Go.
We just started to develop, basically. We started to get more gigs, more tours. Started, like, our first tour was with Don Penn, you know, the singer of No, No, No.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, we did a couple of gigs in Spain. I believe Zebi went to Hungary with her. And
yeah,
started like that. Yeah, we did Rotterdam as well, 2006, I believe.
So just to get like a bit of an overall kind of understanding, when did the system actually form as Kings HiFi? Like, obviously there was other things bubbling before. When did it become official that Kings HiFi was the name of what was going on?
2004, I believe.
Oh,
wow. So it's been running. So you're looking at nearly 16 years running with the system. I mean, that's an incredible length of time. Obviously, with what's been going on across the world musically and stuff, the kind of integration of different sounds and how now I'd say Jamaican music culture is very much at the forefront of what's going on across the world. Like, what when you were like putting on nights originally, like what was the general vibe like? Like, I want to kind of get a picture. Like, paint me a picture of what one of the original Kings HiFi nights would look like.
Originally, I had a residency at the Volks on the Monday night, which was reggae night every Monday, and that actually had quite a massive following back in the day. I believe it's tapered down a bit now, but that was kind of like the hub and the start of it all, basically, for me and some of the other guys. And then we just went from there, basically. It's always been a thing that we've been pushing sort of in the background, in the foreground, at different stages of our lives, really.
Wicked, man. I mean, it's sick to see. Obviously, I've grown up in Brighton, so seeing the name Kings HiFi floating around everywhere has become almost like a normality to me as a fan of reggae and as a fan of just a fan of Brighton's music scene in general. So to kind of see how long and integral to Brighton's sort of music scene you guys have been is really, really exciting. Like, would you say that reggae has a strong following here in Brighton still to this day?
Yeah, I mean, it does to a certain level. Like, I've seen like big nights at Concords. There's all different types of reggae, so it's quite a huge spectrum. Like, I've seen big names live at the Concord, and they haven't done so well. And I've seen other like sound system culture nights popping off, like with loads of students and things. So it's quite a weird spectrum. Can be, yeah. Basically, depending on.
So kind of like over the years then, what's been your favourite event to kind of play?
Definitely any sound system events that we get to bring our own sound system in. That's when we can really create the proper vibes.
Sick. So when you're like, obviously we talk about a system here, and we're talking about a physical like speaker set, obviously. Like when did you decide that process of actually building the system yourselves was going to be what you did? Like how much goes into that?
It grows over time, basically. That has I started off coming across other people playing sound systems and thinking, wow, this is what it is. Like, this is what we need to get to. But obviously it's not so easy to just go and buy a system of that size and start running it. And it's a huge learning curve as well. Like, I didn't know how to set up rigs and stuff like that back then. But like, you just started off, I started off buying 4 scoops. Then I got the amplifier to power that. Then like, it's so on and so on, it slowly builds, and then start getting the opportunities to take it out to places and things.
Sick.
Blowing up loads of speakers. Buying more.
Like so that kind of process then. Obviously we're down the line now. How many pieces of how many speakers are involved in the actual system? Like how big is this rig?
What is it? Is it maybe 20K? Is it 15K, 20?
It depends what you're roughly. Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one measuring them like that. Speakers wise, is basically a set of 4 bass bins, scoops at the moment. Then we have the set of kick bins on top, which at the moment we've got another set of 4. And then on top of that, we're using some like pro mid tops, like old turbo sound mid tops.
Sick.
So it's like 6, 8 speakers and an amp rack.
So it's
and then all the DJ backline.
When you're kind of putting this together, then is this something that could still continue growing to this day?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment we're kind of like happy with the size of our rig. We're obviously always tuning it and like improving it and stuff, but I don't think we really need to go up to the next level yet. Like some of these guys, they do 2 stacks. They'll have more like 8 subs or 12 even. I mean, 3 stacks.
It's quite mad to kind of think about just how loud these things can get over time. Like kind of then going back to sort of like Brighton roots and stuff like that. Then like obviously over the years you've been involved with sort of Brighton nightlife and Brighton sort of reggae scene on a regular basis. Like have you worked with many vocalists over the years?
Vocalists, many. From Brighton, we met Ruben da Silva many years ago. He's like an artist that was part of King Tafari sound system from Brighton as well. Yeah. And basically, he's been showing us the ropes as well. He's been a great teacher for us, you know. So we've been working extensively with him. Finn, that was part of our dub maker in the past, has been working with a gentleman called Ilodica as well. That was
I remember Ilodica back in the day.
Who else? But obviously, we've been working with Brother Culture quite a lot as well. We've been touring quite a lot with him. I'm just thinking about who we worked in the past with.
We did did the tour with Dawn PENN. That was quite fun. Like, it might have been 2009 or something.
Wow.
Did a few tours with her. Like, took her to Spain, Hungary, a few dub plate sessions.
That was way before that, Zebi. That was 2005, 2006, actually.
Maybe, man. I know it was a long time ago.
I mean, you see, it's quite mad to look.
There's a lot to remember.
It's quite like mad to look back on. Obviously, we're talking over like 15 years here, like, and obviously to still be going to this day is it's really sick to see. And again, from like the point of view of a fan, to kind of know that there is still this legacy that's being built as you go. It's really exciting to look at. We're going to get into the first of today's tracks that we're going to play. This one goes by the name of Wicked and Wild. This is the lead track off the brand new EP from yourselves and Natty Campbell. Talk to me about this tune. How did it come together?
That's for you.
Yeah. So there's a couple of guys I need to mention. Joy and Jan here. They're like new to the crew. It was actually Joy who was doing stuff with some guys down at the Gladstone, and he booked Natty Campbell come down. Next morning they wanted to do some dub plates, So Joy gave me a ring. I come down, and he gave us the option of doing a dub plate or whether we wanted like an original track to release. Straight away, I was just like, yeah, we'll have the original track to release. We've got too many dub plates. Like, we want to get into record production stuff.
Definitely, man. I mean, it's a wicked tune.
Thanks, man.
It's a wicked tune, and it's I think, like, stylistically, we're going to talk about it a little bit more afterwards. Obviously, we're going to run it in a second, but stylistically, I think it's a very good representation of where kind of reggae music is at, especially here in the UK. So we're going to run this now. It's just gone 41 minutes past 10 here on Cubcam TV. Don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave. We're joined by King's HiFi and, of course, Duke Sky as well.
Hey, me say wrong and tell them. Hey, me say when they come and dance, make a rock and sway. Yeah. One tell us so well up. I like the way all the people them are moving, them are moving. Wanna come in at the dance and a team band champion. Hey, I like all the way all the people them are moving, them are moving. When me come in at the dance, we no drum band champion. Tell them that this, we wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wall. We wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wall. The people love the part and them a love and this all. We come with the rock and dance up, we come and make them all. We are come wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wall. We make them feel the laugh, we make them bun all. We now make the fun, we are can make them smile. Come and I go see them and go love how we style. Say, I like the way all the people them are moving. Them are moving. When me come in at the dance, we not team band champion. Whoa, hey, I like the way all the people them are moving. Them are moving. When me come at the dance from a morning to evening. Whoa, we see woman and man, them have a nice session. Come and I can see when one the mic in me on. I've been do it in a round jump fashion. Make them feel wine, make a them go long. When me gone, no ranting strong. I feel wanna see we ranting all night long. Yeah, people them a rock for way. Love body vibe, they say it sounds so sweet. Well, I like the way all the people them are moving. Them are moving. When me come in at the dance, we not team band champion. Whoa, hey. On the lip, I like the way all the people them are moving. Them are moving. When me come in at the dance, we not team band champion. We seein' rock the dance, rock it like that. Come and I go sing the feet we not fall. Through a danger, we tell them that. People come, them a get up with that well. This I want the sound, we play it to them. When me come from start to end. Yes, so this sound, now we top ranking. Hey. One tell us so well, I like the way all the people them.
Right then, guys, we're back on Cubcam TV. That one there, the brand new single from King's HiFi and Natty Campbell. Track entitled Wicked and Wild. Really good, really good mix and blend of different styles, and kind of a nod to kind of like the original sort of digital dub era, shall we say. Let's, Dukey, I know you had some questions about sort of international touring and stuff like that. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, we were just chatting off air there, and it was quite curious to me, some of the European cities you were reeling off. And there were even more coming when we were just talking off air there. So where's your favourite you've been to? You mentioned like Barcelona, Valencia, Hungary. Where in particular is somewhere you'd love to go back to play, I mean?
Oh, man, I enjoy Spain quite a lot, man. I'm half Spanish, so I always like going there. I like everything about it.
There you go. That's a good connection.
We also have a residency at a festival every year in Slovenia, in the mountains, like by the river. It's beautiful. It's
Slovenia.
just like, Slovenia.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful countries, man. It's a very underrated holiday destination.
Oh, it's lovely, mate.
But
yeah, big up Overjam, that one over there, the reggae festival there.
Oh, that's sick, man. So, whereabouts are you from, Nico?
I'm from France. I'm from the south of France, basically. But I met Zebi when I was 18 years old. Well, bear in mind I'm 39 this year.
Yeah.
So it was like a few years ago we had college together. So I moved to from France to UK to study and kind of, you know.
Was it your interests in music that brought you two together?
Kind of.
Yeah. Which certainly what's kept you together since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, man. Yeah.
No, that's good. So where are we, just for my personal interest, where are we speaking to you both from now? Where are you based?
Okay, well, I'm based in Reading myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm in Lewis.
Lewis, so you're just up the road.
There we go.
Local.
Yeah, I'm just up the road.
Sick,
Good
man.
stuff.
This is the thing that's kind of beautiful about this as well is it is such an international sound, and there is such a well, I think especially across Europe more than anywhere else, there is such an undersung appreciation for reggae music, and obviously that sort of system culture root is something that is embedded in music across the world at this point. Like heading back to this EP specifically, like obviously it's somewhat of a rhythm tape. Like you've obviously got that sort of that original sort of sounding rhythm, which has then been vocaled a few times and remixed or whatever. Like when you were putting the project together, what was the process behind it?
I guess it's been first the recording from Natty got done on that rhythm, so I was thinking about who would be doing the next vocal.
Basically, I made the rhythm track with. I was living out in the sticks, proper like in Isfield, and I started the rhythm track there, and then I got Joy to come over. He's a new member. He come over and helped finish off production work, played some melodicas and stuff. And then we had that made us have the instrumental track basically. And from then it was just finding the right vocalist, and Natty came along at the right time with, you know, the right price and everything, and like we had it in budget, and it went from there. And then you build the first track, then it was like, right, we want some remixes and stuff. So reaching out to a few other like drum and bass producers like Jamie Bostrom, who's someone we've met along the way, like at a lot of the old school raves and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, also Zebby met Phoebe Vixen Sound like a couple of months ago, I think, like at the Concord actually. Yeah, it was after a Mungo's gig, probably their last gig at Brighton before all the lockdown. Yeah, that when we linked up with Vixen there. We just linked up with her. She had a great vibe straight away, and we got chatting. And then, I started sending her some music, and she was like, "Oh, I'm really feeling this one." She jumped on the vocals straight away. She's just started out with her. This is her debut vocal on the rhythm, it's just her debut vocal, I think.
So this is something that is very much very fresh, very much hot off the press. When it comes to like new music, essentially, it's essentially a new vocalist hitting a new rhythm, which is dropping today over the next few days.
Absolutely, mate.
That's what I love to see. That's what I love to see. I love the newness. That's what I'm all about here on Cubcam TV. Nice. I want to keep very up to date with what's happening right now. So we're going to get into this next track here. This one is the Vixen Sound vocal, Left Behind. How would you describe Vixen Sound in 3 words?
Sharp. She's got really great vocalists, to be honest. I love it, man. It's really grown on me, the tune. It's good.
Good stuff. We're going to get to this one now then. It's just gone 10 minutes to 11 here on Cubcam TV. Out to the locked in crew this morning. This one, Left Behind, King's HiFi alongside Vixen Sound.
Now you're still young, but you're a has-been. I can provide meditative bliss, but your vibe so dead, it's like arsenic. And I have been seeing and seeing and seeing your vibe, and I have been hearing and hearing and hearing your lies, and I know why you have been left behind. Left behind. So come on, boy, show me what you do. I'm not afraid of you. Eagle eye and your whole crew. I'm not afraid. Come on, boy, show me what you do. I'm not afraid of you. Eagle eye and your whole crew. Used to be the big man with the big dream. Now you're searching for what you can glean. You are trying to gain control, 'cause without yourself then you lose your soul. It's a shame that you let your ego come round and destroy you. It's a shame that your attitude has left us all bored of you. And I have been seeing and seeing and seeing your vibe, and I have been hearing and hearing and hearing your lies, and I know why you have been left behind. Left behind. 'Cause you've been wasting time, getting by, wasting life.
Right then, we're back inside the building. It's Brekky in the Cave. It's Fresh Fridays, and we are joined by two very special guests this morning. Well, three. Juki's in the building as well, and he's always a special guest to have with us. We're going to be looking next. Obviously, King's HiFi are those two guests that are in the building with us. We're going to be looking through what's on the way for you guys, because obviously the EP is now in the process of being released. I believe it's out on Bandcamp. It's out on Bandcamp today.
Yep, it's out now on Bandcamp.
And in the next 4 days, it will be released everywhere else. We had a little delay on the other platforms.
Well, that's
coming soon.
I think that's all good though, because I think today is definitely a Bandcamp day. I'm looking around with everything they've got going on. It's definitely a day to be heading over to Bandcamp and spending your spare pennies on new bits from different musicians from across the board. Let's kind of look to the future then. Obviously, you guys are very much obviously we're in this lockdown scenario, so I get the impression that you guys are very much steaming ahead with kind of like label work. Like, what's the next few weeks looking like for you?
We are finalizing the next EP that should be coming out on the 15th of June, and then working basically on the next ones.
Okay, cool. Like, what can we get a little sneak preview of who you're working with, like artist-wise?
We're gonna be releasing something with Ruben da Silva. This is an old recording from 2004, actually.
Wow.
But it will be the mix of the tune will be updated, and we're gonna be doing some cheeky few different versions of the tune.
Wicked, man. I mean, when it comes to sort of like Brighton's reggae scene, I'd say Ruben da Silva is up there at like sort of like legendary status. You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously a name that's been so heavily involved for so many years. Let's kind of like throw this out there then. In regards to when we return to a sort of post-lockdown scenario, can we expect to see King's HiFi back on the road, like quite soon?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. I mean, I hope so. I mean, during this time in the lockdown, I'm just gonna carry on working on the labels. We've got. I'm gonna spruce up the rig a bit, give it a repaint and stuff, do a bit of maintenance and things. But we've actually got a date booked in September still at Brighton Electric. Whether that goes ahead or not, we're not sure, but hopefully that'll be the one, and we're planning on bringing down Vixen Sound for that one.
That'd be wicked, man. I mean, I've been to a reggae show at Brighton Electric before, and I tell you what, it's got a really good atmosphere and vibe to it, and I think that's definitely something that I'd want to get down to when obviously if lockdown is closed up and everything goes ahead. I just miss the dance, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, man.
We are also planning to run on our Twitch channel a weekly show on Fridays, 7 to 9 o'clock, with different guests. It's actually starting tonight. We're going to be doing a stream of 2 hours to celebrate the release of the Tempo EP.
Wicked, man. I mean, so that's going to be live on your Twitch, did you say?
Correct.
So what's the address for the Twitch, just so people can go and follow it?
I believe
it's King's Hi-Fi Twitch, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of really simple. It's like Twitch/King's Hi-Fi.
Twitch. There we go. Right, out to Paul Brain, out to Joy as well, locked in this morning, sending their regards into the show. Thank you for listening in. What we're going to do now is we're going to finish up with the Akua remix of the project. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the phone this morning. Best of luck with the release and how everything goes.
Brilliant, thanks, Jay. Great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, really, really good. Let's stay in contact. Obviously, whenever there's new releases on the way, I'd love to play them on the show, and obviously show support where we can.
Absolutely, mate.
Talk me through this Akua remix before we finish up.
This was actually one of Joy's friends. He's a local Brighton guy called Jonah Beckford, basically. He runs a couple of drum and bass nights, I believe, at the Vaults, called Bass Connection, I think is one of them.
Okay, yeah, I know the name.
And yeah, we just had the stems knocking about, and we were passing it around to a few different DJs, and he just came back with that, and it's just wow, absolute fire, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we straight away had to have that on the EP.
Wicked, man. I think this is the perfect way to finish off the interview as well. It's going to inject a bit of energy into everyone's Fridays, and it's going to be a good way to kickstart Fresh Fridays as well, which is coming up in just a second. One time before we finish up, what is the best social media tags for people to get you on? Where can people find you?
Pretty much everywhere.
Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud. Yeah, them ones. I guess we're more active on Facebook than Instagram, but we do have some stuff going with Instagram.
Wicked. And people are just searching King's Hi-Fi, I presume, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the one, man.
Good stuff. Right, then we're going to get into this final single of this interview then, guys. As I said before, it's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck with everything, and we'll speak soon.
Big up, guys. Thank you.
Bless up, man.
Good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Lovely stuff. Let's get into this one then. Don't go anywhere. Fresh Fridays is on the way with myself and Duke Scott.
Hey, me say oh, wrong and tell them. Hey, me say oh, when they come and dance, make a rock and sway. One tell us so well, I like the way all the people them are moving. Wanna come in at the dance and a timpan champion. Hey. Wicked and wall. The people loving the part of them, I love it at this style. We come with the rock and dance up, we come and make them ball. We are come wicked and wall. We make them feel the love, we make them ball. We now make them from me, I can make them smile. Come and I can see them, I can love for what me style say. I like the way all the people them are moving. When we come in at the dance, we not the band champion. Whoa. Hey, I like the way all the people them are moving. When we come at the dance from a morning to evening. Whoa. We see woman and man, them have the nice session. Come and I can see when one in my kingdom me on. I've been do it in a round of fashion. Make them feel wine, make them go long. When we gone, no ranting strong. I be wanna see we ranting all night long. Yeah, people them a rock away. Love body vibe, they say a song so sweet. Well, I like the way all the people them are moving. When we come in at the dance, we not the band champion. Boy, I like the way all the people them are moving. When we come in at the dance, we not the band champion. We see him rock the dance, rock it like that. Come and have a scene, a beat we not fall. Through a danger, we tell them that. People come, them a get up with that well. This a one sound we play to them. When me come from start to end. Yes, so this song now we talk down then. One tell you so well, I like the way all the people them are moving. When me come knock the dance from my morning to evening. See, I like all the way all the people them are moving. When me come knock the dance, me a drum and champion. Drum and champion. Hey, well, the boy not deal with none of them. Not deal with evil, it's not bad, my friend. Rock the dance so sweet. We tough like concrete, well. I make them move their feet, well. We wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and while the people them a love, we batter them a love by myself. We wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and wicked and while you know come back to sing, you know my true versatile. Tell me so we make them a wind the like.
Right then, friends, we're back on Cub Camp TV. It's Brekky in the Cave. It's Fresh Fridays. A massive shouts out to King's HiFi for passing through. That was a really enjoyable conversation.
It was. I tell you what, we've had some very pleasant guests down here. Easy conversation, and yeah, just great people.
Really, it really is, man. It's good. It's good to speak to people of different genres as well. Obviously, we've had a couple of reggae systems, reggae acts on. We've had a couple of grime acts on. We had Fork and Knife on as well, who's sort of like in the middle, in sort of like a different area. So yeah, I mean, it's time to move on to Fresh Fridays, and because of that, I'm going to run. I always forget to do this at the start of the show, but we're going to put up the listings for the upcoming tracks that we're going to be reviewing on the screen now. So there we go. We've got music from Baklava, the new Oxomo tune, so that's quite local to Brighton there. We've got Gets' new single, Microsoft Word. We've got some new Telemakers with a track called Greed. That one's out now on High Focus. There's new Jules and Jacure as well. New Matt Jam, Lamont, Ekalon, and Shosh. I believe Ekalon is Scott Diaz. That's his new alias. New Unknown T, new Bush Baby, new AJ Tracy, and new Chris Lorenzo and Bruce C. So there we go. Really different, varied mix of stuff on the way, I believe.
Yes, it's pretty varied. It's quite energetic, though.
It's very, very energetic. You know what? I was looking through listings. There was very little chilled out stuff released today.
That's it. Everyone's had enough.
Everyone's had enough. We're partying in the house, and you can't stop us. There'll be beer up the walls, and it's going to be me that has to clean it up because it's just me in the room. So.
It's all that clapping at 8 o'clock, everyone rolled up.
On a Thursday, I think everyone's going, I can't wait for my pint tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into the first one then. By the way, I've also fixed the sampler on the show. I fixed the new sample pad so we can do this now. We can do that in the middle. We can do that in the middle at random, and I'm starting to get I'm starting to get some new jingles as well. So yeah, there should be some really interesting stuff on the way. As Brucey has a track out today, we'll run this one.
Yo, and it's Brucey. Yeah. And right now you're locked into COVID. Dub Plate King.
There we go. The jingles are live and true. We're going to get into this first one from Gets. If I had a Gets jingle, I'd be playing it 24/7. To be honest with you, so it's probably a good thing that I don't.
One day.
We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Anyway, let's stop this foolish chatter. Let's get into some new music. This one here coming from a man like Gets, his brand new single. I can't wait to get into this one. This one is Microsoft Word. Are you excited for this one, Juki?
As always, never fails to disappoint.
Never fails to disappoint.
Mixed up there. Don't worry, Gets. Everyone knew what I meant.
Everyone knew. Let's go. Don't go anywhere. It's Brekky's in the Cave. Fresh Fridays. I can't speak. I'm running out of energy.
Came in the room and I took a few heads off. PlayStation generation, word to Microsoft, I couldn't do Xbox. I given around 10 years, got 1 or 2 bangers, but couldn't do best of. Don't send for me, little nigga. I send a bullet through head top. Swear to swindle, no more normal. Hello, fuck that, no more formal. I don't like them, man, no more cordial. Raiden stuck here, no more portals. Body on the ground, old school chalkboard, 3rd degree burns like a blowtorch scorched you. Come out of nowhere, like the promos awful. Plans on set, hands on necks, racks on stretch, wax on deck. Aim a bit lower than hats on heads. Ran from who? Ran from feds. Packs from Cali, gal from West. 1 missed call, what's that from Trent? Longbow, Jon Snow, back from death. Guerrilla warfare when I bang on chest. Dick game, turn gal, man from sex. Alexa, please play man song next. Too much style, whenever I'm heard, I want them to say, bro, that's no guess. Them boy there don't switch up the flow. Same old shit, that's not fresh. Aquarium 2012. I ain't gonna lie, whole gangs on X. Focus mode, new level unlocked. Game of Thrones thing, everyone's ops. Killer MC with 21 shots, 14 for the chest and 7 up top. I don't go back and forth on Twitter. Man, show me they ain't getting unblocked. I just back mine, talk real nigga. Been around, fix it, never rubs off. Anywhere me there, man, setting up shop. About watch boy, watch what boy. Hot points, the only kettle I've got. Dirty hands and debt I've washed. Birkin bags or whatever she wants. Certain man don't get enough drops. New album on roots, perfect landing whenever that drops. I've been around since grime was born. Come to the field and find this corn. Valerian still with your spinal cord. I'm hearing it feel like I've been warned. My area's built on grime, you fool. Where else in this world could you find this talk? Last page on the application. Translation, final form. R.I.P. Storm. I got crept from back when they called man Reg. I bet you can't find these Jones. Retro 5s, 6s, 7s. Collection, come like a primary school. Them boy are window shoppers. Everyday West, no items bought.
Right then, we're back inside the building. It's Brekky in the Cave, and we are reviewing a ton of new music this morning. It's Fresh Friday, so we're going to be looking through all of the latest bangers. This one coming from a man like Getz with Microsoft Word, his new single. As we said on the last episode, we're not going to be listening through the whole song. We're going to be kind of cutting in for 2.5 minutes, getting a feel for a tune, and going from there. So, Juki, what are the thoughts on this one?
Oof, that's what happens when you bring two goats together. Swindle and Getz.
I mean, it's cold, isn't it? Let's be real.
Yeah. I think the instrumental on its own does a job, and then you just chuck Getz over the top of it, and jeez, yeah, that's an absolute banger, that one.
Really, really cool. I think as well, it's a flex of a tune from Getz as well. He's very much kind of going like, look, I am this good that I can maneuver and make it sound like this is running at 140, even though it's down at like 128.
Yeah, no, it's effortless at this point.
Really is, man. So let's get into a bit of a rating then. What are we going to go with this one?
Wow, you set the bar high. It's first track of the day.
Yeah.
We're starting it off with a maximum.
We're going with the big 5.
Yeah, it's got to be 5.
We're going with the big 5. I think the thing is, yeah, it's so difficult not to give Getz 5s most of the time.
Yeah, we might have to invent a couple 6s or 7s.
Come on, just so we can.
There's certain artists who just they outdo themselves. Like they already set the bar high from the jump, and then they outdo themselves. So
there we go.
Go from there.
So we've
That's
got.
What we talk about giving artists room to breathe with these ratings.
Yeah, but you know what it is. The thing with Getz is he's been at a 5 for a long period of time now, so it's not as if there's like much need to improve anymore. It's like a consistent run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not mad at a 5 at all. I just think I can't find any fault in it. The only fault I could actually find with it, which might have pushed it down to a 4-5 for me, is the fact that it's almost like a straight rally tune. Like there's no sort of structure to it in regards to it being first chorus.
It's not everyday structure like bridge, chorus, hook. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You don't need that all the time, man. I think it's good to just have some fun with it and just flex, as you said earlier. Flex.
That's what I think it is. I think knowing that it is a flex of a tune is why that doesn't really come into play that much.
Yeah, exactly. I think the way it just sits over the instrument as well.
Really, really cool stuff. Let's get into our next one then. So this is from the High Focus group, and this is going to be it's something slightly different, featuring Jerome Thomas. This one goes by the name of Greed. It's by Telemachus, and it's a very interesting listen. So we're going to get into this one now.
Hey.
are live on Cubcam TV. That one there coming from Telemakers, track entitled Greed, featuring Jerome Thomas. Really interesting piece of music. How are we feeling about that one? My friend Juki.
Yeah, I think that brought an element of calmness to the morning. In a morning that's otherwise packed with energy. I think that's much needed. A bit of R&R.
Definitely.
For that one.
So very interesting kind of like arrangement of tune there, I feel.
Where did you come across this one?
This one actually landed in my inbox from the High Focus crew. So there we go.
It was a present, was it?
Yeah, a little gift. I think this one is out today. But yeah, I wouldn't have heard of it otherwise, though, to be honest with you, because I feel Telemakers is quite a new face floating around with their sort of discography. But I'm noticing with High Focus, they're going a lot more experimental recently.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's the way to go as well. You want to diversify as much as possible. Definitely.
I think this one for me, it's a very interesting tune. The interesting factor of it is definitely pumping it up on the ratings for me. I'm going to go with a 4, purely because I got a little bit lost in the middle. Like I sort of lost my way with it. I didn't really know where I was. However, there are no sort of like bad elements with it. It's just a little bit difficult to follow as a sort of composition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with your opinion. I enjoyed it. It was
cool. So
I'll definitely be going back to that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's definitely one we're going to be running on the show on a quite regular basis. It's just a cool piece of music more than anything else, I feel. But yeah, there we go. Let's jump into the next one then. This one is Dinner Guest. Now, this is the first time on this show that we've actually ever, bear in mind all the written sort of stuff and all the Juno sort of stuff, this is the first time we've actually done we've actually done a Fresh Fridays review after I've reviewed a tune.
Wow, yeah, that is, considering the amount of reviews you do. This is quite a mad, it's quite a feat. It's
quite a mad thing to do. So yeah, this one is AJ Tracey and Mostak with Dinner Guest. I did put a Cub Reacts video up to this on the channel. If you want to scroll through, you'll be able to find it quite easily. But yeah, very interesting indeed. This one is Dinner Guest. We're going to get into it now and then give our opinions on it straight afterwards. Oh yes.
Yeah, let's get it.
Dinner guest. Had the wins, but I'm not a winner yet. If we're trying to make a pass, I'm an innocent. Got the dog up in the club, I ain't bring a pet. Covered in the ice, I ain't trying to sweat. We can make some bread, we can split a check. But I ain't back and forth on the internet.
When I think of it, babe, you'll be a 10 out of 10 if you never smoke cigarette. But can I back just a little bit? I hear you, but you're messing with a bigger fish. Ain't over till the lady sings, tell your man grab a mic. You're looking like a snack, baby, can I get a bite? Don't pull it on the plate. Remember when we then my bet will never say.
One of them man got man them own up. Stop this in my merch, you're a donut. Young boy made him so much money that he's grown up. Give him I'll send her, get you. Posh girls wanna take me back to their yard. I don't care if pops is racist, tell your dad I'm a star. And I watch this on his wrist, I put that on the card. We put up on the strip and now there's in the yard. Cartier frames and a turtleneck. Fancy. Parents always love me as a dinner guest. Had the wins, but I'm not a winner yet. If we're trying to make a pass, I'm an innocent. Got the dog up in the club, I ain't bring a pet. Covered in the ice, I ain't trying to sweat. We can make some bread, we can split a check. But I ain't back and forth on the internet.
I only go back and forth with the chicks I like. Now I'm joking, I'm moist and I'm kinda shy. But I just mix my drink so I feel the vibe. I'm such, I might DM Georgia Smith tonight. She's got a wedding ring and she's in my vibe. Blood, I ain't even married, but I kissed the bride. I'm a pop star now, stop wilding out. But I won't lie, I kinda miss
I was on a fine line with them A-balls out. I don't play for NBA, but I'm able out. My brothers all in order, they in the corner. My bro skill me, it's Georgia. I used to always keep it easy with a jiggle back. And one kiss is all it takes, I could give you that. But I'm not gonna do it, I ain't whittled that. And now I'm playing by new rules, I'll just give her back. Cartier frames and a turtleneck. Fancy. Parents always love me as a dinner guest. Had the wins, but I'm not a winner yet. If we're trying to make a pass, I'm an innocent. Got the dog up in the club, I ain't bring a pet. Covered in the ice, I ain't trying to sweat. We can make some bread, we can split a check. But I ain't back and forth on the internet.
I ain't going back and forth.
Right then, that's what we're going to run from that one. That one coming from AJ Tracey and Mostak with Dinner Guest. Now, I, on my rating for this one, actually gave it a 4 out of 5.
Don't.
I gave it a 4 out of 5, so I want to hear your opinion on it.
you're not going to sway me because I was already formulating my own opinion whilst listening. And in my honest opinion, I think Mos Def saved that tune from becoming a school disco classic.
Okay, fair enough. I can see that. I mean, I think we're genuinely very differently opinioned on this one. This might be one of the biggest differences in opinion we've had.
I didn't understand the tune until Mos Def's first came on. Put it that way.
Okay.
For me, I was like, with the beat. So obviously, is it a sample beat or is it just a very generic sound? Has it been sampled?
Well, yeah, it's from a house tune that's been floating around for a while.
That's what I was thinking. It's from a popular house tune, isn't it? So you're walking a thin line when you do things like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
In terms of how you're going to pull it off. And the type of artists that can pull it off are varied. I think it's difficult until you actually hear them on it, until you know. But for me, I think, that would have been getting banged out by all of the 11, 12-year-olds if it didn't have Mos Def on it. Not that that's a bad thing. If that's the market you're going for, you're gonna make millions of pounds. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have a problem. But that's my opinion.
Okay. I mean, when I was listening through it, I think my opinion might have been slightly different by the fact that I watched the video as I listened to it for the first time.
That's the thing. I haven't seen the video. Maybe the video makes it a bit more.
You know what it is?
Adult themes that are gonna.
I wouldn't say it's the themes as much. I think it's more the way it's kind of composed. I think the video is very well done in the way that they're always both in shot when they kind of go back to back, and it adds this sort of element of them going back to back on it. It's I described it in my review as being quite a subtle flex, because I actually think this is one of AJ's better performances recently.
All right.
In regard
compared to what?
In regards to that is it Purple Rain, the name of the tune, or Purple or Rain, or is it Rain?
With
H.
With H.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that, but this one for me, he just showcased a bit more rap ability to me. That's what the reason I liked it a bit more.
Okay. See, the only thing I could agree with you there would be the hook. I think the hook was levels above what he's been doing before. But in terms of the actual track, no, you're right. We do have different opinions.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd play that H one, which I wouldn't, but I'd play that before I played this one.
There we go. So what are we going rating wise then? What's the final score on this one?
Well, you know what I was going to give it, but that was what should we say? I came in with a predisposed bias, so I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go down the middle. Yeah, I'm going to go just the other side of 50%.
Yeah, no, okay, fair enough. I mean, I gave it a 4 on mine purely because of the video, so I wouldn't mind dropping it down a little bit further because mine's been watched with the video element.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've not experienced the visual aspect. I've just heard it for the first time properly. So yeah, that's a fair judgment. I think I can't go. It's not a hill I'm prepared to die on. No. But at the same time, I do have strong opinions towards it.
Okay, cool. That's fair enough. Though I'm cool with that. Let's get into the next one on our listing then. This one is coming from Ox Omo, Brighton-based musician. We're going to get into this one featuring Skinny Towels. This one is Keep It Blessed. Some fresh UK hip hop for you ears.
Let's do it.
It's like nothing. What? Yo. Time to change and yeah, we're jumping in a time machine. Kids are raging, it's like nothing that we ever seen. No engagement, they gon' take it by whatever means. It's a bit of entertainment, whichever team they play for, it's a clever scheme. Yeah, I fuck my education, but it never seemed to fuck with my fixation on another dream. Straight escaping from the colour scheme. Admiration of the grace that made the scene, that made us free. Writing bars and making beats. From suffering defeat to fucking with elites. From hoping shit will change to seeing shit repeat. From widening the lanes to hoping it increase. From trying to stay the same to hoping for some peace. From trying to pass the blame to knowing what it means. Trying to go with what we've seen and what we see. And it's never been irrelevant to dream. Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed in your peace, in your peace. Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed in your peace, in your peace. Lift your head from the screen. Keep Keep it blessed with your peace, yeah. Lift your head from the screen.
Skinny tools,
keep it blessed with your peace.
It seems the path I've been stepping's getting heavier to walk on. A berry in my head with a beverage, though it's dead wrong. Next stop, feeding leverage in a sweatbox. And never did the medicine with death until the stress stop. Let's be honest, I don't wanna get a dead job unless it's at a desk chopping samples for the head nod. I'm better off without the stresses and vex boss. Telling me he's better off without me, I'm interested not. It's been hard to move, waking in the afternoon, glancing at my past, at the scars of the darker truth. Things I can't undo, things that I should have done. Drinking a master mood and thinking, well, that looked fun. But when times are getting hard, I try and lift my head. I lift a pen, scribble text in a different tense. It's my mission, I'm persistent, spitting over stems. It's a dream, I feel peace, so I keep it blessed.
Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed with your peace. Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed with your peace. Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed with your peace, yeah. Lift your head from the screen. Keep it blessed with your peace, yeah.
Right then, that one there coming from the sounds of Oximo, a track called Keep It Blessed, featuring Skinny Towels. How are we feeling about that one, Dukey?
Yeah, no, bit of a vibe. It's I think it's good. It's good to have UK hip hop that's like that. It still retains that sort of tradition. Because I think it's a very experimental sound at the moment in all different facets, in all different directions. So it's nice to have something like that.
Definitely, man. I think as a genre, it might be actually one of the most that is going through the biggest periods of transitions, purely because we're seeing all the bigger labels very much kind of. For instance, a High Focus here, focusing in on being as experimental as possible, whereas you're seeing a lot more of the independent artists more kind of push this more sort of, I don't want to say boom bappy, but more sort of nostalgic approach with the sort of sounds they're doing.
Traditional,
traditional. Traditional's probably the right word. But yeah, this one, obviously a Brighton-based artist in Oximo. He's had an album out recently. Heads Up Collective Mind Records, and there's a few good things going on for him. So I'm happy he's still out there putting music together. Overall rating wise for this one, I think I'm going to go with a 3.5. Nice. I like the layout of the tune. I like the instrumental's really cool as well. It's produced by Oximo, which is really nice. That kind of vocals that sits there in the background is really haunting and enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think the 3.5's fair. I think it didn't get me out of my chair, but I don't necessarily think this type of hip hop is supposed to make me get up and bruck. You know what I mean?
Get up and bruck. No, I do. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I agree.
We'll go for a 3.5 with that one. On the way, something very different next. We've got some Brucey and some Chris Lorenzo in collaboration over a D&B tune. Liquid flavors on this one with Introspective.
Switch up.
Very much a switch up. Let's get into this one then. If this doesn't get me out of my seat, I don't know what will.
Make time for yourself, unwind for yourself. Nobody can give you what you'll find in yourself. Keep reminding yourself that you're nice by yourself. You must love yourself to be loved by someone else. You gotta smile by yourself, run a mile by yourself, meditate, walk in the countryside by yourself, stand tall by yourself, rise and fall by yourself. You were born alone and you will die all by yourself. Take the time for yourself. Make time for yourself. Why shouldn't I be loving me? You need a breakdown to experience recovery. On my own, feeling like a happy businessman. Cause I love my own company. Embracing a long walk, a weak mind that's carrying these strong thoughts. Take a deep breath. long pause. We went off track so we could be on course. Accept who you are, be proud of your flaws. A pat on the back or a round of applause. Beauty is skin deep, what is really beautiful is what's surrounding your core. Only now that I'm sure life's meaning has been neglected. Many times by me I've been disrespected. Self-worth is what intellect is. This is my introspective. Make time for yourself, unwind for yourself. Nobody can give you what you'll find in yourself. Keep reminding yourself that you're nice by yourself. You must love yourself to be loved by someone else. You gotta smile by yourself, run a mile by yourself, meditate, walk in the countryside by yourself, stand tall by yourself, rise and fall by yourself. You were born alone and you will die all by yourself. I'm a prisoner of my home. Still I'm living on a nice road. Running water in my tap and it's ice cold.
Right then, friends, we are live on Cubcam TV. This one coming from Chris Lorenzo and Brucey. Very different flavours from the pair of them. Both primarily, of course, associated with that more sort of UK-based sound. We have heard Chris Lorenzo flex in there as well. We've heard Brucey sort of go in there a fair bit, but it's been a bit more rave-inspired. This one, going by the name of Introspective, a good title, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, I don't know, do you know if it was specifically made for release now?
I don't know if it was specifically made for release now. However, I did speak to him quite briefly about it, and it's he kind of described it as a tune that is designed to kind of make people he wants people to listen to it and feel better about themselves in this current scenario. That's what he said about it. So
so it was made in isolation, though, yeah.
I genuinely don't know if it was made during isolation. It may have been made beforehand.
I was going to say that's one hell of a happy accident. It's not. So it's very fitting with the themes.
Really, really fitting. It might have been one they've been sitting on for a while, and now was the right time to release it. Who knows? To be honest with you. But yeah, overall, I really like it. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, Jukey's gone. That's a shame. Let me try and get that call re-established on the old connection. There we go. I think we lost him for a second. There we go, and we are back on the line. There we are. Hello.
That's the first time that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for 7 weeks now. It's the first time we've actually had a connection drop. That's quite impressive, to be fair.
I know, yeah, not so bad. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't know how much of that you heard. I was just saying, if it wasn't made in isolation, then it's one hell of a happy accident, because it fits perfectly with the themes of the moment.
Definitely, man.
I'm going to assume it was. And yeah, fair play.
Yeah, really cool, man.
Yeah.
I really like it. What are your thoughts on it?
No, yeah, very, very cool track. Introspective is a very apt description of it. I'm trying to describe. How would you describe the instrumental?
Smooth and sorrowful.
Sorrowful. Okay, well there you go. Adjective man does not let us down.
Well, I'd put a mask on and put a cape on and arrive in linguistic scenarios.
That's it. No, it was a banger.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. Rating wise, what we're gonna go?
Is this my one?
Yes, it's your one. Yes.
Ooh. Because of the relevance that it has now, I think that gets it an extra half point or point. So I'm going to give this one a 4.
I'll give it a 4. I'm not mad at a 4, to be honest with you. I think I'd agree with a 4. I really like everything about it. So yeah, good stuff.
Bear in mind that that's not my forte either. If we're talking about music, I'd bang on and listen to. So yeah, he's captivated my attention there.
Really cool. Let's get into this next one then. So Baklava has got another new single and another one in the Spotify New Music Friday listing.
Churning them out.
Literally banger after banger after banger from her. This one is very much in between the last two, I'd say. She had Got It Good and Through the Night, and this one goes by the name of Take Time. I've put some words together about it, and I said in the review that is not out yet. That's why it doesn't count. But in the description for it, I described Got It Good as the bubbler, the one that gets people onto the floor, and I described Through the Night as the after party. This one I'd say is the one that drops in the middle of the dance.
This is the one that keeps them there.
This is the one that keeps them in the dance. Let's get into it now then. Fresh Fridays here on Cubcam TV. Back.
Hey.
Show me what I could be missing. You can show me off and take me home. Leave tonight and stay tomorrow till the weekend. But you caught me off guard with my hands behind my back. Don't know where I'm going, but I refuse to lose track. Said you wanna take it slow, no harm in that. Why don't we just take time, yeah. Tell me that you're mine, yeah. I promise that you love me, cause I'm worth it. So won't you come a little closer, let's get together. Take time, yeah. I just want you for myself, for ya. Call me crazy, I need help, for ya. Pick me up, I'm feeling lonely. You're acting like you don't know me. Baby, let's play pretender. Turn the lights off, no one has to know. What we do when we're alone, let's keep it secret. There's no telling where it's gonna go. If my heart is yours, you know, and you can keep it. But you caught me off guard with my hands behind my back. Don't know where I'm going, but I refuse to lose track. Said you wanna take it slow, no harm in that.
Sounds of Baklava on that one with Take Time. New UKG flavours on that one. How are we feeling?
Yeah, love it. I think she's developed a very consistent sound, albeit varied, but I think she's got that unique vocal tone, which is always going to set her apart.
Definitely, man. The classic way I would describe it is cohesion with variation. That's the.
No, we left cohesion in 2019.
No, we didn't, bro. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it. It's in my backpack and it's not going anywhere.
And sonically, we left that in 2019 as well.
Sonically,
both cohesion and sonically both left last year.
I need to find a new word then if that's been left behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's chop this one up. I really I like what Baklava's doing. As I said before, I think this is definitely the one that keeps ravers on the floor. With Got It Good being the one that brings people in, and Through the Night being the one the mellower of her three recent releases. Overall, I really like it though.
Yeah. Baklava's someone I've been keeping tabs on with the socials. She's very active. She was over in France recently on Rinse France and doing various other bits.
Definitely.
She's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Definitely, man. I think she's definitely got the plan in place, and it's being executed as we speak. I think that seems to be what's going on.
I think she's got a good team around her as well, which is always helpful.
Definitely. Let's chop this one down then. I'm going to go with a 4. I like it. That doesn't blow me away. I won't lie. It hasn't completely blown me away. I really like the tune, but it isn't one that's going to make me go like, this is the one to watch for the next month or so. But yeah, no, I like the tune. I think a 4's a fair rating on that one.
Yeah, well, 4's a very impressive score, so there you go.
There we go. We're going to get into this one next. This one, Jules and Jacure, 2 regulars on the Trickstar playlist in for what they do, but this one's something slightly different from the pair of them. Let's get into it now then. It's Fresh Fridays here on Cam TV.
Yeah.
Makes you appreciate the rain. I know there's no such thing as forever. All good things must come to an end. Oh, but I never thought we'd end up this way. And I cannot thinking I'm the one to blame. Tell me how deep a broken heart. Wish that I could heal all your scars. Tell me how deep a broken heart. Wish that I could heal all your scars. She said sorry, don't ease no pain. Yeah. She said sorry, don't ease no pain. Yeah. so long inside the dark. You really appreciate the fun. Oh, when you lost us, but I never thought it would turn out this way. And again, I'm thinking I'm the one to blame. Tell me how to heal a broken heart.
There we go. Brand new there from Jules and Jarkill. Really interesting tune.
Yes, something a little bit different, and can't say I am ever adverse to a bit of woodwind, especially at that. How did you describe it?
I don't really. I can't. A sort of sped up system.
Yeah, it is. I think that's probably the best description. It's with a couple of like R&B elements in the vocals as well. It's a very interesting mix of sounds and styles.
Definitely, man. There's a lot to it. It's very different, and it's. I always like seeing new bits from Jarkill because he's someone who does have a really unique kind of vocal approach, and Jules is putting out nothing but bangers at the minute as well. So I think it's a really cool combination.
Good collaboration, yeah. And as you say, two regular frequenters of the Trickstar playlist, so it's good to have them on the YouTube show as well.
Definitely. So, what we're going to go rating-wise?
This is you.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just did before.
I'm sure it is. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's me. I think it's right that this one's me as well. You have more familiarity towards it. I'm gonna go 4 again. You know.
I'm gonna go 4. I'm not mad at a 4. I think I would have gone for a 4 as well. I think it's
If it would have been a 3-5, I think, but for that breakdown in the middle, that breakdown has touched me.
Definitely,
should we say.
Love it. I just love a bit of saxophone in a. Let more people need to use saxophones in general in their compositions. I feel
exactly saxophones, trumpets, a bit of flute. Yeah, I'm all over it. I'm lapping it up. Trust me.
There we go. Right then, next up, brand new Bush Baby. This one going by the name of Empty Again. Really cool UKG flavours on this one. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds of Bush Baby on that one with a track entitled Empty Again. Very different from Bush. Oh, have we lost Dukey again? I think we may have lost Juki.
Oh, no, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, there we go.
I was waffling away to myself. I said, yeah, it's a little bit different, but we've come to expect the unexpected when it comes to Bush. I think it's all going to be revolving in and around that core sound of his, but I think he's very good at nailing a switch up when he needs to.
Definitely, man. I think he approached the whole thing, I feel, with... I mean, I don't actually know how long the tune's been floating around, because this was kind of broadcast in that 100% exclusive Bush Baby mix that went out a couple of weeks ago. And this was the most spoken about track, essentially. So that's why I think it's been the one that's been selected to drop.
That's it. That's what you want. That's the public feedback.
Yeah, there we go.
People decide.
I really like that kind of little is it staccato strings? I can't remember what the name of the type. I think it might be staccato strings. A little plucked string bit in the middle.
Yeah. Well, I actually called it a nice riff. That was.
Yeah, but
I'll leave the technical definitions to you.
Yeah, off air you said. What is it? National Nice Riff Day. Oh,
yeah, well that's it. It's been like 3 or 4 consecutively. It's had a little something in the middle. There
we go. So yeah, rating wise, I'm going to go 4-5 on this one. The only reason
I can't disagree with that.
The only reason I'm not going a little bit higher is I feel. It compares to A Woman's Touch or a Not Alone or any of the other things he's dropped recently, for me, I feel it doesn't have the star factor that those ones do, for me personally.
Okay, yeah. It's not as I was going to say outstanding. I don't mean that as in like positive sense. I mean that as in something that will literally stand out. You know? I think this is more of an inconspicuous bang.
Yeah, I think this one for anything is actually Bush more just enjoying experimenting with sound. I think that's what this one is. And him really just enjoying playing with different elements and putting out interesting stuff. I think it's more of an interesting tune than A Woman's Touch, which is more of a rave kind of something that will set a rave on fire. But yeah, it's not a bad tune by any stretch of the mind. It's just not my favourite thing he's done, but it's very, very good.
We love it anyway.
There we go. Coming up next then, we're going to jump into this one from Matt Jam, Lamont, Echelon and Shosh. Another UKG bit, the final UKG bit of today. Primarily because near enough everything that's dropping at the moment is UKG. It's difficult to get away from the garage sound, to be honest with you.
Well,
but,
and I feel like Matt Jam, Lamont is a honorary Brighton resident at this point.
Yeah, so there we go.
The amount of lineups he's appeared on over the years down
yeah, it's quite mad when you think about it. He's like he's almost like a King's Hi-Fi to an extent.
Yeah.
Who isn't necessarily based in Brighton, but is here near enough for every sort of garage, every other garage show he'll be on the lineup. Which I'm not mad at. He's a great DJ. Let's get into this one. This one, Matt Jam, Lamont, Echelon and Shosh off the brand new, I think it's Underground Music is the new name of their new label. This is the first release. Shosh obviously representing 24-hour Garage Girls, and Echelon, I believe, being the new name for Scott Diaz. So yeah, there we go.
Nice.
we go. Sounds of Matt Jam, Lamont, Ekelon, and Shosh on that one with Let You Know. A pretty sort of standard sounding garage tune, I'd say.
Yeah, quintessential. I think it's, yeah, if it says, what's UK, someone said to you, what's UKG? What's garage? There you go.
There you go. This would be something you kind of go, here you go, it's yours.
Yeah.
You can play with this one.
After you get through the mountain of classics, of course.
Of course. So what we're going to go, what are your feelings towards this one?
I'm going to go 3, I think.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're going to go 3. Okay, give me the reasoning. Let's know why.
I'm going to go 3 because, well, it's straight down the middle, and I think that's a good description of the track. It's, as we alluded to before with the Bush Baby one, it's not going to make me jump into the middle and skank, but I wouldn't be adverse to hearing it again. I'm not going to switch it off if it comes on in a playlist or set.
Yeah.
No, it's one of them ones. And shouts to Matt Jam Lamont, as I said, he's a little bit of a legend around these parts.
Definitely. Cool, there we go then. Next one we're going to jump into, the final track of today is Unknown T with Squeeze and Bust. His brand new single, this one kind of crept into the New Music Friday selection, so we're going to get into this one now. We're live on Cubcam TV. Don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave. Fresh Fridays, myself and Duke Sky in the hot seat.
Yeah.
The po hate me cause they weren't no solving. Gunman sounds to the club said no smoking, but we bought that smoking. I'm the best of my age, no boasting. We know fanboys hate when I'm ghosting. J-last thing, no smoke, let me jump on a tech, call my babes on lotion. Be up the you, don't poke him, GM's cut when the gov's approaching. Deceiving ops, ain't repping, they're blocking, Joe on a joke thing. That boy called stress when he held them poking. But he's still on free flow, bitching to different blocks as he's still trying to waste him. Bro just sent one drop on a up on chopper, these vocal broken. Being beat man out of his head, curled up in the bed, but the gov ain't spoken. Don't trust anyone in the can, he can be a right hand, then pre up the soaking. Free up my goons in the jail, ass bang to the gates break open. Free up my goons in the jail, ass bang to the gates break open. Hands up, hold it, squeeze them bust. GS corners a must. Pop smoke car, everyone's talking tough. Rude, I'm calling your bluff. Be a man dust when they heard it's us. Tryna squeeze them bust. Be a man dust when they heard it's us. Tryna squeeze them bust. Hands up, hold it, squeeze them bust. GS corners a must. Pop smoke car, everyone's talking tough. Rude, I'm calling your bluff. Be a man dust when they heard it's us. Tryna squeeze them bust. Be a man dust when they heard it's us. Tryna squeeze them bust. Mask on, then teeth that be in the trap. Who teeth that me and my dog, that nigga tried block, but then he got whacked. Abused that dot plotting the gaff. Blocking hell, that smoking a crash. He ain't got heart, but still wanna do this. Tar don't dash on a tree, it clap. Brap, you can feel this whap. Feel this whap. When it clock ton, it's us, see beer man dash. Block off for the hot boy, scream like yats. Me and bro tryna chase this batch. I just be off the M, no cap. Got 3 indictments off my name, I'm gas. He froze up when he heard I'm back. Fresh on, straight back to the cash. 2 Rambo blades behind your back while bro tryna beat that mash. Big brown booty, rewind the arse on snap, let me squeeze that nyash. Eyes roll back, she ucking me off on cam, man busting a lash. Stop shining the wrist on Grammys, VS1, I don't need no flash.
Right then, that one there coming from Unknown T, Squeeze and Bust, his most recent single. How are we feeling about that one to finish up the day?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to close the show out. Something to keep you going for the rest of the day, give you a little bit of energy, a little bit of vocal energy as well, which I think we haven't too much of since the very first track we've got. So,
definitely, man.
That was good.
I think overall I enjoyed it. It's not the best thing Unknown T's done. I'm sounding quite cynical today, but it's definitely not. You
are. You've woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
I was in a really good mood this morning. I don't know why.
Yeah, you did say you was in. I was in a
great mood. I don't know. Maybe my good mood is actually making me kind of go, why is no one else as good as my good mood? Maybe that's the kind of thought process I'm going.
Not meeting your standards. That's it.
But yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with a 3-5 for this one, purely because I know Unknown T can be so much more. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. He can become so... There's so much more he can do than just this, you know what I mean? I feel this is very much just him putting bars onto an instrumental and releasing it, rather than like the structure being there. There isn't really any notable sort of like lines to it. There's no sort of like sing-along to it. It's just a well-produced, performed piece of rap drill music, essentially.
Yeah, he's in his comfort zone for sure.
Definitely. But yeah, I'll go 3-5 on that one, meaning we have a clear standout winner this week.
Yeah, that's it. No flow dance today either. No 4-5s.
No 4-5. That's the first week we've ever had no 4-5s, I think.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
There we go. So, this one goes by the name of our winner. Microsoft Word Gets. It's an absolute banger. Always good to see new music from Gets popping. And there we go. That's the end of the of Fresh Fridays for today. There we go.
There we go. Go check the visuals for that one on GRM.
There you are. And you also get an explosion. There we go. That's pretty much the end of the show then. What are you up to for the rest of the day then, Juki? What's your weekend looking like?
Going to try head outside before the heavens open once again, get some exercise done, and then come back and don't know, see what the plan for this evening is. Speak to the missus. What about yourself?
I don't know yet. I haven't really got any plans floating around. I'm going to get all this stuff finished up. We do have a remix dropping on the channel to celebrate hitting 200 subscribers, so you can look out for that one over the next few hours or so, depending on when you're listening to this. But yeah, it will most likely be up for free download by the time you people start to check out this podcast. So there we go. It's been Fresh Fridays. It's been Brekky in the Cave. I'm going to let you know exactly who we have coming on the show next week. We are going to be joined by Chameleon Audio, HiFi. We've got Will B, Pav, Tumble Audio, and Misbah all joining us. So there we go. We've got a really good run of guests coming up. The next 4 weeks are looking very tidy when it comes to guests. I've got to say, it's looking very, very exciting indeed. So
lovely stuff.
Juki, I wish you all the best. Have a very good rest of the day.
Pleasure as always, sir. Thank you very much, and yourself.
Cool. Right then, guys. We'll see you later. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Same time next week. Stay safe. Stay inside.